Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Holly, this is She Reads, and today I have another book tag video for you. So this tag video is called the How I Read tag, and I first found out about it by watching the channel Paul Reads. He did not tag me in this video. I have not been tagged in this video, but I just saw him doing it and thought that I would kind of jump on the bandwagon and take a look at the questions myself. So I will link Paul's channel down in the description box below. He's really awesome. Go and check him out. He's super sweet, and I really like his take on books. The original maker of this tag seems to once again have disappeared. I could not find the original video, but once again I will link Paul's channel down below. He is where I found out about the tag in the first place. So without further ado, let's just get right into the questions. Question number 1. How do you find out about new books to read? Definitely Booktube has for sure helped me a lot with that. Before I found Booktube, probably just going to the bookstore and just looking on the shelves and trying to find something that I would be interested in. Also, if I ever ordered a book online, like in the Amazon section, they usually have like, if you bought this, you would like this or that sort of thing. So lots of times when you buy a book online, whichever venue you end up using, they usually have recommended titles as well. Goodreads, I am just very new to Goodreads and I don't really use it a whole lot, but I think that in the future that probably will be a good way for me to find new books to read. I know that they do quite a bit of recommended reads or, reads of the month or whatever. And so I have started noticing that as I am starting to use Goodreads more for my channel. So that probably will be a way in the future that I find a lot. But for right now, I would say definitely Booktube is quite a big way of how I find new books to read. Question number 2, how did you get into reading? My mom was a huge reader when I was a kid, and I remember her coming home from work and after we had supper and she would just sit on the couch. I'd be watching TV or playing video games or whatever, and she would be reading, and she'd just be going through novel after novel after novel. And she also started reading with me at a very young age as well. I remember when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and she would tuck me into bed and we would be reading the Chronicles of Narnia series together. And so she would read me that, and I just have such fond memories of those times. My mom and I were super close when I was growing up. She was a single mom and it was just her and I, and so she was my whole world. She was my everything, and I just wanted to be exactly like her. So she was a huge reader, so I wanted to be a huge reader, and she read with me, and that definitely influenced my love of reading. And I've just grown up loving it ever since. Number 3, how has your taste in books changed as you've gotten older? I touched on this a little bit in a book on haul video that I did a couple of videos back, but I think when I was younger, I kind of tried to get into books that I thought I should be reading, like as a girl. So kind of light, fluffy romance and like comedy style books, like just those kind of really light, not very much depth into the story. Those type of books, and I just kind of thought that I should read that because I'm a girl, like isn't that what girls read, and I really should love this. But I never really did get into those types of books, and I really only read them because I thought that I should, which I know sounds dumb as an adult. Looking back on that, I'm like, that's a stupid reason to try to read a book. But so definitely I've kind of come into my own as I've grown older, and I've just like started to learn just, if I'm not into a book, it is okay to DNF it. It is okay not to finish it. Just move on to something that you're going to like. And I have just since found that my genre is horror, and I also love literary classics. And I mean, I kind of get into a little bit of every genre here and there, but for the most part, I try to stick with horror. I love it. I'm a suspense thriller type of person, so I've just found over the years that that is what I really like to read, and I have no shame in sticking to that anymore. Question number 4, how often do you buy books? I don't buy books all that often, probably maybe every few months. I kind of go through a spurt where I won't buy anything for a while, and then all of a sudden I'll be going to pick up my next read, and I'll just be looking on my shelf, and even though I have a ton of books on my TBR, I'll just be looking at what I have, and I'll be like, I don't really feel like reading anything of what I have. So then that's when I usually end up going down to the bookstore, and then I will buy kind of a whole bunch at once, and then I'll be good again for another few months. Question number 5, how did you get into booktubing? Well, I actually only really became a huge fan of YouTube probably about a year and a half ago. Um, and I can't remember how exactly I got into it, but I remember the one day I was looking up morning routines because I can't even remember why. I just wanted to change up my morning routine for some reason. I was pregnant at the time and I was starting like to do nesting, and I just like kind of was starting to be like, my routine isn't good enough, and once my baby gets here, I need to have a better routine. And I don't know, like whatever. Regardless, I was looking up morning routines and I came across Trisha Paytas, which huge YouTuber. If you don't know her, definitely check her out. And I just became like, I didn't know that this sort of thing existed on YouTube, like with vlogs and all this stuff. I just kind of had, in the past, had used YouTube as like a how-to section. Like if I needed to figure out how to do something, I would go to YouTube and, you know, type in whatever and come up with a video of how to do what I was looking for. And that was about it. But so I found Trisha's channel and I just started binge watching her, and I just watched probably every single video that she ever made, and I was just like obsessed with her. And from there I found more and more and more YouTubers until I was pretty much only watching YouTube. So like Shane Dawson and Haley Reese and Loey and all them. And then one night I was sitting there thinking, because I kind of started to get the idea into my head that maybe I should start a YouTube channel, and I didn't know like about what. But I was kind of thinking maybe about starting like a lifestyle channel or, you know, that sort of thing. And definitely not makeup, because no. But I kind of tossed back and forth the idea of starting a lifestyle channel. And then I kind of started thinking all of a sudden when I was laying in bed, like, you know, they say that on YouTube, there's everything on YouTube. Like there's something for everything. And I wonder if there's any channels that talk about books, or how to be an author, or, you know, whatever. And so I think I just typed in the search bar like videos about books or something, and all of a sudden the booktube community came up, and I was just absolutely shocked that this was a thing. And the very first booktuber that I watched was Haley in Bookland, and I absolutely just fell in love with her, and I still watch her religiously to this day. She's just so sweet and so cute. And then from her I found Peter Mon's channel, and like he's one of my favorite booktubers and one of my favorite YouTubers in general. He has 4 channels, so I'm now subscribed to all of his channels. But in any case, I started watching booktube absolutely religiously, found so many channels that I'm obsessed with, Jessie the Reader, of course, and I just kind of fell down that hole. And then after a while, I just kind of started thinking like, okay, if I'm going to start a channel, this is where I'm going to start my channel, because I love books more than anything in the world. I'm trying to be a published author, so it'd be really great for networking, to meet some more people, and it would just be like really, really awesome opportunity for me to get this going and see what comes out of it. So that was a pretty long story, but that's how I ended up deciding to start my booktube channel. How do you react when you don't like the end of a book? I mean, I don't really have a huge reaction. I mostly just close the book and think, well, that sucked. Like, all, you know, of course you're disappointed, but I mean, what are you going to do? Like, throw the book across the room? That's not really me. So I don't know if I have really much of an outward reaction. Of course, I'd be disappointed if I really loved the book all the way through and then the ending sucked. Or, you know, I don't know, if a book is kind of like losing my interest all the way through it, I typically just DNF it, because I do not have time in my life to read books that I'm not finding interesting. I would rather just move on to something that I do find interesting. Question number 7, how often do you take a sneak peek at the end of a book to see if there's a happy ending? I have never done this. Funny story is that a couple of books ago, I was very tempted to do that. And I even like flipped to the last page, and then I just stopped myself at times. I was like, no, I'm going to ruin it for myself, and then I'm not going to want to read the rest of it. So I have never done that. I don't do that. I think it would be completely pointless to read the ending. Like, why would you even read the rest of the book then? Makes no sense to me. Question number 8, who are you going to tag? I am not going to tag anybody. If you are watching this video, you have a booktube channel, and you have not done this tag, go do this tag. So that is it for the book tag that I am doing for you guys today. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button down below. I make videos on this channel twice a week, every Monday and every Thursday, and I would love to have you come and hang out with me weekly. Thanks you guys so very much, and I hope you have an awesome day. Until next time, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!